Please, God, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to do. I'm worth more dead than I am alive. Please, God, I wish I'd never been born.
Oh, thank you, Joseph. You finally sent for me. Thank you.
Clarence, your turn has come again.
Oh, please, sir, don't skip over me again this time, sir. I promise not to make any mistakes. I'll do
Careful, Clarence.
Oh, please, sir, it's been over 150 years and I still don't have my wings yet. The other angels are starting to talk. Oh, please, sir, I have faith I can earn my wings this time.
Yeah, I'll grant you, Clarence, you have faith. Faith in a gentle heart. But if you mess up this time, it'll be a long time before you get another chance. And we'll be here for an eternity.
Oh, yes, sir. What am I to do, sir?
There's a man down there in terrible trouble, and you're here to help him.
Oh, splendid.
I said trouble, Clarence. You're not here just to earn your wings. You're here to help a man who's about to throw away God's greatest gift.
Oh, my goodness. You mean his life? Well, this is very serious indeed, Joseph. I'll get right on this.
Clarence!
Yes, Joseph.
Where are you going?
Well, I'm going to save by the way, Joseph, who am I going to save?
Clarence, if you're going to save a life, you need to know whose life it is and a little bit about that life, Clarence. A life is like a house, Clarence. You build it one brick at a time. And how sturdy the foundation is how strong it is as you build.
Well, look at that. Where are we?
That's the foundation of the life you're here to save.
Who's that?
That is who you're here to save, Clarence. That is George Bailey.
But he's just a boy. He seems so happy. Listen to him. He's got his whole future ahead of him.
Sometimes, Clarence, the future we see is not always the future we get.
What?
Well, just watch closely, Clarence. This is very important.
Hello, George.
Lowery. You want something, or are you just admiring the place?
I'll take chocolate.
You want coconut?
I don't like coconut.
Don't like coconut. Say, brainless, don't you know where coconut comes from? Looky here. From Tahiti, the Fiji Islands, the Coral Sea.
I've never seen this magazine before.
Of course you have. It's National Geographic. Only us explorers can get it.
You're going to be an explorer?
Of course I am. What else in the world would anyone want to be? You thought I was saying that I'll fly in balloons over the Mississippi, or better yet, I'll sail a steamship, exploring everywhere, and everywhere I see. It's just the best, it's simply exquisite and everything. I'll be part of
not ignoring her, Clarence. You cannot hear her.
Can't hear her. She's right there.
Clarence, several years ago, his brother Harry fell into an icy pond, and George went in and saved him, but it cost him the hearing in one ear.
Well, that was quite a sacrifice. Still,
Hams are good. That's how it's gonna be. And the only word I can think of to describe it
George! Oh, pay me a canary!
is... Tell me, Mr. Gower. Hey, Mr. Gower. Hey, I didn't know Mr. Gower had a son. Oh, nothing. What are condolences?
Condolences. Like when your aunt dies, everybody tells your uncle how sorry they are. That's condolences. Say, why are you...
George!
Tell me, Mr. Gower.
You better know. He sounds angry.
Let me get that for you, Mr. Gower.
Give me those. Here, now, take these to Mrs. Blaze. She's expecting them.
Mr. Gower, the pills, they say, aren't they?
Hurry up now, George, they have the diphtheria.
Mr. Gower, the pills, aren't they?
Hey, George, I told you to go on. Deliver them now, or you're fired. Mrs. Blaze expecting you. They're for her son.
He didn't notice. Boy, what a fix. I saw the poison. My eyes were playing tricks. There's nowhere to turn. Nobody seems concerned. Is this how it's gonna be? The only one I can think of who could help me is Dad!
Please, Mr. Potter, times are hard.
Hard times require hard measures.
All we're asking for is 30 days, Mr. Potter. Just 30 short days.
Is this a business or a charity ward? My advice to you is to foreclose. The only word I can think of to describe it is bankruptcy.
Dad!
Calm down, son. Mr. Potter, what makes you such a hard-skulled character? You don't have any family, no children. You can't even begin to spend all the money you've made.
And I suppose I should give it away to miserable failures like you, or this idiot brother of yours, to fritter away on every sluggard in town.
He's not a failure. You can't say things like that about my pop.
George.
Well, I can't. You're not a failure. You're the biggest man in town. Bigger than me.
Well, Bay, I see that you have another incompetent in training. Stick around, young man, and see how your father looks in his tail between his legs.
Huh?
You know, Mr. Potter, I had given some thought to meeting some of your demands. But now I see I'm going to have to rethink my position. Go on, George.
But Pop,
Please, George. Mr. Potter and I have some things to discuss, and it may take quite some time.
George! Mrs. Blaze just called. Her pills! What did you do with her pills? Don't you know how sick that boy is? You lazy loafer!
you're upset. Please don't get mad. But those pills for Mrs. Blaine have got something bad. So I can't come here. I didn't know what else to
six.
The oars are excellent.
Yep, this will do me just fine for a while.
For a while.
Well, with all the things I'm going to see and do, pretty soon I'm going to need one about this big.
What did you stop him for?
Wanted you to get a good look at his face.
Whose?
George Bailey's.
You mean that's the... Well, what do you know? It's a good face. I think I like George Bailey.
He's come a long way since he saved Mr. Gower and his father's business all in the same day.
Oh, did he ever tell anyone about the pills?
Not a soul.
Did he ever go exploring? Ooh, the girl. What about the girl?
Patience, Clarence. Patience.
There's that guy here again, sounded like he said no chart.
That's right. Mr. President from Old Lake Hour. He came down and picked it out himself.
My old boss, huh?
Yep, he said it was the least he could do. By the way, George, what boat are you taking?
Hell, I'm working my way across on a cattle boat. Hey, I like cows. That's right. Shaking a small town dust off my feet. This ain't the land for me. I mean no offense to you, Rolling Street, but that's how it's gonna be. I feel the excitement down in my toes. Every moment I stand there, it grows and it grows. I just can't believe that I'm facing the day when I can finally say I'm on my way. By my town, I've got it back, but I can't stay here turning gray. You feel so good to say I'm on my way. Nice going.
So you really didn't know it, George? Of course he's been good. He's been sailing this river. Bet you're not even gonna miss those river calls. George?
Well, sure, I'm gonna miss this place. I might even miss you too.
Come on, George, we'll race and drop us a line from Peru. One of the keys to you are me, women from here to Zanzibar. Girls by the hundreds stuck in their play. Oh, what a price to pay.
I'm on my way.
Keep on your way.
I'm on my way.
Keep on your way.
Today was my last day.
Never forget a thing like that, George.
I reminded him.
You got your suitcase and everything. Oh, we're really gonna miss you around the old building and loan.
Oh, we certainly are. Why, this old thing is lucky he can remember who he is in the morning. And your poor father. Oh, George, we can't do everything.
Now, Aunt Tilly, I said I'd only stay until I saved up enough money for school and a trip around the world.
Oh, trip. Hey, yeah, George. Listen, I found an old travel sticker back at the house, and I brought it. It'll really take the shine off that suitcase. Here, let me get it for you. It's right. Where is it, Tilly?
It's on the kitchen counter. Right where you left it, just before you said, better not forget to take this.
Well, George, I'll give you the farewell tour.
It'll take me exactly.
So I took every day, I don't think it's before. Always stay on the street. Always sentimental, but it won't be the same.
That was really great.
And you called me names.
Can't think the way we can make a mistake.
And I know what you're gonna say.
using the George's tuxedo tonight.
Pecan, my favorite. Hey,
George,
thanks,
oh,
Aunt Tilly.
Harry, where's my broom?
Well, what do you know? My last meal at the Bailey boarding house.
Sure hope you have a nice time, son. Uncle Billy and I are really gonna miss you.
Oh, the boy, he just doesn't listen.
Oh, I hope you didn't hurt it too bad, Aunt Tilly.
Actually, I missed him. He's just got a good imagination, that's all. Well, I guess I'll leave this pipe here where you two can keep an eye on it. Just an eye.
Are you going to the fireman's ball tonight, George?
Well, I guess so. Told Harry he could borrow my tux, though. Guess I'll go casual. How about you two?
Oh, I'm afraid your father's too tired for dancing tonight, George.
Oh, he must be. You two haven't missed in years. Half the town will be there, Pop.
It's the first good excuse I've come up with.
We're sure gonna miss you, son. Peter, what's the matter? Something wrong?
Oh, just a little tired. Had another tussle with Potter today. I thought when we put him on the board of directors, he'd ease up a bit. But no.
What's eating that money-grubbing old buzzard anyway?
Oh, he's sick, son. Frustrated. Sick in mind, sick in soul if he's got one. Hates everybody that's got something he can't have. Hates us mainly.
George, this tie that came with your tux is broken.
Oh, Harry, it's not broke. Here, let me fix it for you.
I'll get that, son. You eat. Harry, let me see that tie. Why, there's nothing wrong with that. And where are your studs?
Ma, you can't leave this tie with these guys. It isn't safe.
Harry, give me the pie.
Did I act like that when I graduated high school, Pop?
Pretty much, I guess. I suppose you've given some thought about what you want to do when you get out of college.
Well, you know what I've always talked about? Building things. Cities, buildings, the works. Pop, I need to have a town named after me someday, Pop. I need to...
Just a hope, of course, but there isn't any chance you might come back to the building alone, is there?
Oh, Pop. I just couldn't. I just couldn't face being cooped up in that shabby little office for the rest of my... I'm sorry, Pop. It's just this business of nickels and dimes and trying to help people figure out a way to save 3 cents on the length of pipe. Oh, Pop, I need to do something important for my Pop. You know, I really need to get out and...
You know, George, in our own small way, it seems to me we're doing something important. A house may fall, but a home survives. What's important, building monuments or building lives. So it's all in what you see. You may search the world far and wide, but if you don't look inside, you won't realize your dreams. Make a gift of your life and you'll receive. You are what you are. You are what you give. Be proud that you can give. For that's the greatest gift. Take every moment and make it last. Soon the future becomes the past. You get no second chance. Life is brief. Take the time while you still can. Time to understand. Time to lend a hand. Time to live life. Time to give to life all the good that you can give.
Well, thanks, Sam Wainwright, that old hee-haw. Why, if I had a girl like you,
If you had a girl like me, what?
well, I just might get it into my head to tell you you were the prettiest girl in town.
Well, why don't you?
Well, I just might. I just might, that's all. And, what would you tell me?
Oh, wouldn't you wish to know?
Yeah, I would.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm gonna throw a rock at the old Granville place.
Oh, don't. I love that old house. It's so full of romance. I'd love to live there one day.
Oh, it's full of wishes, too. You see, you make a wish and then you try and break some glass. People who make so many wishes, you gotta be a pretty good shot nowadays. Take a look, right up there, second floor. Watch this.
What did you wish for, George?
Oh, not just one wish, man. A whole hatful. You see, I know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. And the next week. And the next year, and the year after that. I'm shaking the dust of this crummy little town off my feet. And I'm gonna see the world, Paris, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. Yeah. And I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna learn things. I'm gonna build things, big things, important things. No more lending money to people for indoor plumbing. I'm talking about airfields and bridges a mile long, skyscrapers a mile high.
I can't catch my breath. My heart is pounding so. I can't believe it's happening so fast. Become just relax and make this moment last. Could it be his smile, the childish lips he gives? What is it that makes me fall apart? I love you so much, don't know why, but I can't lie to my heart. He haunts me wherever I go. He has full control of my soul. It was only a dream. Is my dream coming true? And while you wish for dreams, my wishes.
Hey, that was a pretty good shot, Mary. What'd you wish for? Oh, come on, Mary. What'd you wish for when you go to class?
Well, as I told you, it just might not come true.
What is it that you want, Mary? The moon? Is that what you want? Well, you just say the word and I'll get it for you. I'll throw a lasso around it and I'll bring it right down here and give it to you.
I'll take it. Oh, but what would I do with the moon, George?
What would you do? Well, you can eat it. Yeah, you can eat it. And pretty soon the moonbeams will be coming out of the ends of your fingers and out of the tips of your toes, out of your hair. Pretty soon you'll be all lit up, just like a full moon. Am I talking too much?
A little.
Did I ever tell you that you are the prettiest girl in town?
No, not yet.
George! Uncle Billy, here he is. I found him.
Not now, Harry.
Boys, thank God we found you. Come quick. Your father's had a stroke.
What? Is there a doctor?
Doc Campbell's there now. Hurry, George!
Harry, I'm sorry.
Come on, let's go first.
I can't catch my breath. My heart is pounding so.
Well, oh, I thought you were referring to George's father.
Oh, he was just about to, too. It's terrible.
Clarence.
Oh, he was that close. George's father? You mean he's... Oh, he was such a nice man. Everyone's going to miss him.
Well, almost everyone.
All right, then, gentlemen. All those in favor of approving the last loans made by the late Peter Bailey, please signify by saying aye.
No. Gentlemen, I demand action on my motion.
Well, we can see which way the wind blows.
You can say that again.
I believe young George here has a train to catch.
But, Mr. Potter, it's much too soon after Peter Bailey's death to be talking of dissolving the
Hogwash, Peter Bailey died 3 months ago. Some changes have to be made. Gentlemen, let's get down to business.
Why, you old buzzard, I'm gonna come right here.
Calm yourself, Mr. Bailey, calm yourself. It's a well-known fact that the building and loan is a failing proposition and has been for years, and I say we put it down to misery now. Certainly, Peter Bailey was a good man, but he was not a responsible businessman.
He was responsible for the building and loan I was making.
More than that, he was the building and loan. Now that he is dead, the building and loan is dead too. Now I mean no disrespect toward him, God rest his soul. But the truth of the matter is that Peter Bailey was a starry-eyed dreamer and ideally unsuited for the job. High ideals and high finance don't mix, they never have. Why, you can't encourage people to live beyond their means. It's not being fair to them. They should work for their money, earn it, save it up if they want to buy a decent home. Peter Bailey only turned them into a discontented rabble who won't know when the cold hand of reality strikes, and that head will strike, gentlemen. That hand is mine. Now, let's get down to business.
Now, just a minute, Mr. Potter. You're right when you say my father was no businessman. Why he ever started this stupid building and loan, I'll never know. But neither you nor anyone else would say anything against his character. Why, in the 20 years since he and Uncle Billy started this whole thing, he never once thought of himself. He never could save up enough money to send Harry to college, let alone me. But he did help a few people get out of your slums, Mr. Potter. And what's wrong with that? People were human beings to him. But to you warped, frustrated old man, they're nothing but cattle. In my book, my father died a much richer man than you'll ever be.
I am not talking about your book. I am talking about the building and loan.
I know what you're talking about, all right. You're talking about something you've been trying to get your claws into for years. And it galls you, because you can't. I know what you're talking about, all right. And so do you, and so do they. Well, I've said enough. You're the board here. You do what you want. But I'll say one more thing. This town needs this measly two-bit institution, if only to have some place where people can come without having to crawl to this building.
Now, sentimental trash and worse. It's detrimental to our purpose. Gentlemen, I want some action now. Gentlemen,
That's awful. That Mr. Potter is a nasty piece of work.
Yes, he is, Clarence.
The poor little building and loan closed down after all these years. The only good thing is that poor George will finally get to see the world.
Clarence, I wouldn't count the building and loan out yet.
But you heard it yourself. There's just no hope.
Clarence, if you wish to earn your wings, you've got to know that there is hope. As long as someone is willing to make a little sacrifice.
Let's tell him, George. That's giving him back some of his own medicine when you should have heard him.
We did. A lot of yelling's what we heard. What happened in there?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. They tried to vote us out after 25 years. But finally, somebody in this town had the guts to stand up to Potter George. Your father would have been proud of him.
Did you really tell Mr. Potter off, George? Is that what happened?
I'll tell you what happened. A young fool got mad and yelled at an old fool, that's all. Where's my suitcase? I gotta get out of here. This town is starting to rub me the wrong way.
Oh, George. George. Oh, George, voted Potter down. They're going to keep it going.
That's great. That's great. Well, I hate to run, but got a train to catch. If I'm not at the station by 3 o'clock.
But George, that's why I'm glad I caught you. They're going to keep it going, but on one condition. Just one.
What condition?
That you be appointed executive secretary in your father's place.
Oh, wait a minute. I think that would hardly be fair. I mean, Uncle Billy here, he really deserves to be appointed.
No, George. It's way too big a job for me. And that's the only condition.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Look, I'm leaving. I've got it all planned out. I'm going to college. I'm going around the world. I got it all planned out.
George,
Please,
otherwise they'll vote with Potter.
please.
Please, Georgie.
How can I leave? How can I stay? Should I do what I want? Or do what they say? Could I live with myself if I just ran away?
Okay. Thank you, George. You won't regret it.
Thank you, George. You won't regret it.
Regret what? Sending my kid brother to college?
You should be the one going.
Oh, you know as well as I do, I'm stuck here until I get this whole mess straightened out. By the time you graduated, I'll have saved up enough money to go myself, and then I'll be the one leaving you in charge of the building alone. I can't keep two Baileys down at once.
Thank you for putting your career on hold for me. I'll be back.
I'm counting on it. Harry didn't come back, did he, Joseph?
No, he didn't, Clarence.
Why didn't he?
Well, just wait and see.
Hello, George.
Mother, I didn't hear you come in. Welcome back. How was the trip? See, how was Harry's new bride? Good enough for a Bailey, huh?
Oh, she's a fine girl, George, and she dotes on Harry. Why, she said she fell in love with him the first time her father asked him over to offer him that job. The first time she ever saw him. But she keeps him on his toes.
Keeps him out of Bedford Falls at any rate.
The trip was nice, George. It's nice to get away now and again. It's a shame you couldn't come too soon. Harry really wanted to show off his new bride to his older brother.
Oh, Mom, you know I would have liked to come.
I
It's
know,
just this.
son. But do you know who was on the train with me on the way back? Mary Pax. Do you remember Mary Pax, George?
Yeah. She back for a visit, huh?
No, she's finished school, and I think she said she's home to stay.
You mean she got out of Bedford Falls, was out in the real world? What on earth is she coming back here for?
Why don't you ask her?
Why? I'll tell you why. Sam Wainwright, that's why.
Sam. She doesn't look at Sam the way she looks at you, George.
Well, how does she look at me?
Why, George, when she looks at you, she fairly lights up all over. Her face shines like the moon.
The moon.
Once a child, now a man, all to him is a loving hand. That's a mother's right to give. Well, I'm gonna go inside and unpack. Oh, and George, Sam Wainwright is in New York. You're in Bedford Falls.
Oh, and I guess almost fair to another more, huh? I think I know what you're up to, Mrs. Bailey. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to find that girl and do a little passionate necking.
George.
Good night, Mrs. Bailey. Oh, by the way, in case anyone asks, I'm going to the library. Need any books?
How they grow so fast, too much time has passed, so little time to live.
Everybody seems to get what they want except poor George. He's such a nice man.
Well, sometimes it's difficult to get what you want if you don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is. Of course he knows what he wants. See, wait a minute, Joseph. Where are we?
Well, just watch, Clarence. This could be very interesting.
Joseph, nothing's happening.
Oh, we need a little minor adjustment here.
Why, hello, George. This is a pleasant surprise.
There, that works.
Hello, Mary. I was just happened to pass by and
So I noticed. You happened to pass by 4 or 5 times before you actually came up to the door.
well, anyway, I thought since I was over in the neighborhood, I heard you were back in town from my mother.
Oh, yes, I just spoke with your mother.
You just spoke with my mother?
Yes. She called to tell me you were on your way over here to pay me a visit.
She what? Mary, listen, Mary, you know I didn't come over to,
Why don't you have a seat, George?
well, all right, but I didn't really tell anyone I was coming over.
Mary? That's not you on the phone, is it? You know Sam's supposed to call tonight. Don't tie up the line.
I won't.
Sam Wainwright, huh?
Yes.
So, you, back for a visit, huh?
Oh, I don't know yet. New York was nice, but, oh, I don't know. I guess I got homesick.
Homesick? For Bedford Falls? Why?
Well, my family's here and, oh, everything. How's the building alone?
Oh, fine, still standing.
Nice about your brother Harry getting married.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What? Don't you like her?
Oh, yeah. She's fine. She's, fine. She's a peach.
Oh, I see. Then it's just marriage in general that you're not enthusiastic about.
No, I think marriage is fine for some people. Like Mom and Pop, Harry and you and Sam.
Mary? Who are you talking to?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey. What does he want?
I don't know. What do you want?
Well, I don't know. I just came over to,
He's making passionate love to me, Mother.
Well, tell him to stop it and go on home. Sam will be calling any minute.
Yes, Mother. Now, what were you saying, George?
Mary, what was that you said about passionate love? I mean, Mary, I didn't come over to,
Well, what did you come over here for then?
Well, I don't know. Why don't you tell me? You're the one that's supposed to have all the answers. Yeah, you tell me.
Well, why don't you just go home until you can figure this out?
Fine. I shouldn't have come over here in the first place. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Mary, the phone's for you. It's Sam. Hello.
Oh, hello, Sam. How are you?
Hee-haw! Boy, it sure is good to hear your voice again, Mary.
Why, that's awfully sweet of you, Sam. Sam, there's a friend of yours here, George Bailey.
Oh, stay-at-home George?
Yes, oh, stay-at-home George.
Well, this is great news. Put him on.
Oh, just a minute, I'll get him.
He doesn't want to talk to George, you idiot.
Yes, he does. He just asked for me. George, it's Sam. He wants to speak with you. Just a moment, Sam.
Hello?
George, a fine pal you are. You trying to steal my girl?
No one's trying to steal your girl here. She's right here.
No. This is good luck. I was going to call you anyway. Say, Georgie, do you remember that deal we talked about a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Well, how about it?
How about it?
Look, I found a great location for the plant in Rochester.
Rochester? I thought you were going to build that plant here in Bedford Falls. You know, a plant like that would do the folks around here a lot of good, Sam.
Oh, quit thinking small, Georgie. There's a whole world outside of Bedford Falls. A whole world. Mary, are you still there?
He wants to talk to you.
No, I want to talk to both of you.
He wants to talk to both of us.
I'm here, Sam.
Mary, tell this guy it's the chance of a lifetime, will you? The chance of a lifetime.
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
Well, what do you say?
Well, I don't want any chances of a lifetime. And I don't want any deals. And I don't want to get married ever. Oh, Mary, I want to do what I want to do for once. And what I want is I really want is
Well, what do you know? He didn't know what he wanted after all.
But Clarence, sometimes it's best to think with your heart than with your mind.
Well, now that he knows what he wants, I wonder if he'll ever get it.
Well, we'll just wait and see.
Georgie, oh, Mary, well, I don't know what to say.
George, you're going to have to get married more often if you can keep Tilly quiet. Where are you youngsters off to anyway?
well, just as far as $2,000 worth of tickets. We're gonna take a train until it hits a boat. A boat until it hits a country. And see where we wind up. We'll trace around the world and take in all the sights. Paris, we'll watch the cows come home while dancing all the night. It's our honeymoon, and that's how it's gonna be. And the only word I can think of to describe it is perfect.
All right, everybody. Suppose in the other room, so help yourselves.
Oh, well, I guess you two will be headed off for your honeymoon right away.
Well, actually, I thought we might just drive by and take a look at the house, even though we won't be moving in until we get back.
You bought a house.
That dreadful old Granville place.
Oh, it's a lovely house. It'll make a fine home.
It just needs a little work, that's all.
George, don't Billy. There's really something funny going over the bank. Looks like there might be trouble. There's a big crowd of people over there. George, you don't think
A run on the bank?
that's what it looks like? Oh, George, Billy and Long Doors are locked up.
George, our charter.
Come on, Uncle Billy. bank is running, Joseph?
It's a run on the bank, Clarence.
Well, why would anyone want to run on top of a bank?
It's a run on the bank, Clarence.
What does that mean?
That means confusion and panic. It's where hope and faith are taking place by greed and fear.
What does that have to do with the bank?
Well, just watch and see, Clarence.
How did I get on top of it?
Well, you can't lock the doors in the middle of the day like this, Miss Jones.
We're clean out. Potter's being paid with every nickel.
Potter, what does Potter have to do with this?
He took over the bank. As soon as the run started, he swooped in like a vulture and took control and...
He called in a loan.
He called in everybody's loan. I had to close up. We don't have a red cent to give out.
George, if our doors stay closed, we avoid our charter.
What does that mean?
It means we lose the right to operate the building alone. Go on, Uncle Billy. Open up those front doors. We've got to try to stay open until 5 o'clock.
But how are we going to stay open until
Come on,
5?
buddy.
All right. I suppose you're all here for the same reason. Well, you want your money. Well, I just got off the phone with Potter, and the bank's going to reopen on Monday. Everything will be right back to normal.
But my money's here, George.
Did Potter guarantee this place?
He doesn't need to. Why? If we can stay open till 5, we're solid.
I'm not taking any chances. I'll take my $242 now.
Wait a minute. You people are thinking about this place all wrong. You act like we've got your money locked up in a safe somewhere around here. It's not here. It's in your home, and yours, and yours, and hundreds of others just like it. You see, you lent them the money so they could build their homes, and they're paying you back a little at a time, just like you're paying them back a little at a time. What do you want to do? Break them?
$242 isn't going to break anybody.
All right. If you'll just sign this right here, you'll have your money in 60 days. That's the agreement you all signed when you bought the shares.
Potter's paying 50 cents on the dollar now in cash.
It's better to get half than nothing.
That's right. Go on, fall into his trap. Can't you see what he's doing for once? For once, he's not selling, he's buying. And why? Because we're panicking and he's not. He's just doing a little bargain shopping, that's all. Yeah, I know it looks like a good deal right now. But what's it going to look like on Monday when everything's back to normal, except for the fact that Potter has the mortgage on your home? Yeah, do you remember when you couldn't afford to pay on time every time? You think Potter would have given you a few extra days? Sir, you used to live in one of Potter's shacks before we lent you the money. Do you remember how much you paid for that shack? He bought up the bus lines, the department store, the bank, and now he's trying to get us. All we have to do is stick together. Have faith in one another.
But we need cash. And you can't feed your kids on baby George.
How much do you need?
Hey. I've got $2,000 of my own money. Now this ought to hold us until the bank reopens on Monday. Now, how much do you need?
$242.
Oh, come on. This isn't going to last very long. At that rate, how much do you really need?
Well, guess I could get by on 20.
All right, $20. Now you're talking. Step right up.
But it's your own money, George.
Don't worry. It's a loan. After all, this is the building loan, isn't it?
$20. I'll sign something.
Oh, no need to sign anything. Uncle Billy's keeping track of everything in his head, aren't you, Uncle Billy?
What's the matter, Clarence?
It all started out so beautifully, Joseph. The wedding. But look at poor George now. I don't know how much more of this I can take.
You can take as much as poor George. Why, poor George has all hope. Just look at him now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
That's it, 5 o'clock.
Lock her up. We made it.
We did it, George. Potter can't touch us now.
Even if we are broke.
Hey, we're not totally broke. I mean, what I got. Oh, I wish they were rabbits.
Yeah, maybe we can have a family.
A big family. Oh, thank you. Oh, my goodness. Mary, I'm sorry. Mary, I mean, I'm Mr. and Mrs. Bailey. No, you're Mr. and Mrs. Bailey. No,
Mary, we're Mr. and Mrs. Bailey now.
Mary, I'm sorry. I got so excited about making it through the day, I forgot all about our... I guess I don't even have enough money to take you out for the first time as Mrs. Bailey.
Well then, Mr. Bailey, I suppose that I will have to buy you dinner.
Where did you get that?
Oh, I hope you don't mind, George. I cashed in the train tickets just in case the honeymoon money ran out before 5.
Oh, Mary, I'm sorry. We should be climbing on that boat right now. We should be calling the world our home. And instead,
Please don't feel bad. Don't say a word. Time alone with you is what I prefer. Who needs New York, Paris, or Greece? It's all the same to me. But when we're together, I'm at peace, and wherever we are, I'm at home. I've an idea. Here, take my hand. It's a music for two people to dance. The music is ours for us to hear, and no one is and
Well, what do you know? Something finally turned out all right for George.
This has been quite a day for the Baileys, Clarence.
Yeah, he's stuck now.
Stuck, Clarence?
And nobody goes anywhere after they're married.
Clarence, would you consider a tree stuck?
No, the tree's right where it's supposed to be. Well, wait a minute, are you trying to tell me that George is a tree?
No, Clarence, I'm trying to tell you that George is where he should be. Where he can do the most good.
How much good can he do stuck in Bedford Falls?
Well, it says right here in the book quite a bit. A matter of fact, he's been able to help over half of these people. Well, she now has a nice new home. With George's help, he's got a son going to college with help of the savings and loan. And welcome to Ernie's, Clarence. A dream come true, courtesy of George Bailey.
All right. I want to welcome everyone and proclaim that Ernie's is officially open for business.
is that all you're going to call it? Just Ernie's?
What are we gonna eat?
Actually, I thought I would call it Ernie's, home of the discriminating diner.
You mean Ernie's home with a frugal diner?
Does that mean cheap? I hope so.
But what are we gonna eat?
Okay. Lunch is on the stove, and today only, it's on the house. On the house, huh? That's too bad. I thought I was going to be your first paying customer. Sam! Congratulations, you old hee-haw.
Sam Wainwright. Time's so hard, you gotta come back to Bedford Falls for a free meal, huh?
Oh, times are great, George. In fact, they're better than ever. I just dropped by long enough to introduce Mrs. Sam Wainwright to you before we head back to New York. Elsie, this is George, Mary.
Hello. How do you do?
It's nice to meet you.
You're gonna have your hands full with this one.
Don't I know? We've only been married 2 days, and I feel like we've been everywhere.
Only married 2 days and Already dragging her back to New York, huh, Sam? Chained to the office?
Oh, we're going back to New York, all right, but we're going the long way.
Sam's taking me on a trip around the world.
Oh, how wonderful!
Around the world?
Yeah, something I've always wanted to do.
Nothing too good for my girl.
Sam, tell me, take a look at this. Do they serve this kind of stuff in New York?
When are we gonna eat?
Soon.
They seem happy.
Oh, why shouldn't they be?
George.
Here, take a look at this menu. I'm sure we're going to be eating here a lot. Nothing too good for my girl.
Oh, George! Listen, Potter called earlier, and he wants to talk to you. Something.
Bertie, this is better than the stuff in New York. How do you do it?
What is it at? All it takes is a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of spit polish.
This and polish will go hand in hand.
Well, here it is in Brixton. I've got a business to call on, and I'll open all the babies, building and loan. Ain't my plan. Good times certainly started. Nobody here is outside. You won't see us but you come from me. Let's say the jig again, 'cause everybody's here. So let's have another beer. This time this round is on me.
Now, early, my boy, I'd like to give you some exercise. Because we always get through it, my friends. The strongest business grows when it doesn't indulge in giveaways.
So I guess the free drinks have just come to an end.
We're in the mood for confessing, and here's the point we are stressing, because of you we're depression-free. Let's say the jigger, 'cause everyone's here, so let's have another beer. This time this round is on me.
What am I gonna say? What do they want to hear? Here's to you, Ernie, for realizing your dream.
I know you still have dreams.
Here's to you, Sam, for being successful.
Do you want the moon?
And here's to you, Uncle Billy, for being satisfied.
Do you want to travel across the sea?
And even to you, Mr. Potter, for getting everything you always wanted.
Will your wishes come true? How I wish you could reach out to me.
And here's to you, George Bailey, the man of the hour.
Speech, speech.
I'm in the mood for confessing, and here's the point that I'm stressing. Because of you, I'm depression-free. Let's say the truth, 'cause everyone's here. So let's have another beer. This time this round is on me.
I'm the started. Nobody here is outside. You won't see
Wrong? Nothing's wrong. Everything's just fine. I'm all right. Look, why don't you go on home, and I'll be right there. I just need to go find out what old man Potter wants. Go on.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm all right. Go on. I'll be right there.
Sit down, George.
What exactly did you want to see me about, Mr. Potter?
Well, as you know, George, I run practically everything in this town except the building and loan. You also know that I've been trying to get a hold of it for years, but you've been stopping me, George. You've got a good head on your shoulders. Why, during the bank crisis, you say the building and loan, and I say the rest.
Most people say you stole the rest. And as for the building and loan crisis, you're the one that started that.
Well, George, we're not here to talk about me, we're here to talk about you.
Me?
Yes, George, you're a young man of what, 27, 28, married. How much are you making, George? About, $40 a week?
45.
$45 a week. Well, now, George, if you were an ordinary yokel, I'd say you were doing pretty good. But George Bailey is no ordinary yokel. He was the only man able to stand up to me in 3 counties. And George, there's one more thing.
And what's that?
He hates the building and loan as much as I do.
No.
Oh, come on, George. You've been trying to get away from it from the day you were born. You're tied to it like a chain and a shackle.
Just get to the point, Mr. Potter.
The point is, George, I want to hire you.
Hire me?
Yes, George, I want you to manage all of my affairs. I'll pay you, say, $20,000 a year.
$20,000?
Of course, George, you'd have to move into a bigger place. I can't have my top man living in that shack you're living in. And of course, George, I do have business in New York and in Europe also. You would have to take care of that, George. You'd have to travel some. And of course, you'd want to take your wife with you. What with you being away from Benson Falls so much?
Europe?
Well, George, is it a deal?
Is it a deal? Is it for real? The fights of the past don't answer to last. Could it be the day when I get my way is here at last? All of my life, I've thought of my life as one big long waiting in line. My heart broke apart when I was just small, but it took off and left me behind. Instead of warm sunshine and wind through trees, I've been waiting in ice water up to my knees. Could it be that at last someone's answered my pleas? Could it be I'm on my way? Could it be I'm on my way at last? Don't let people chatter, it just doesn't matter. Let someone or horse pull the cart. I don't want to be strong, I'm leading to dawn. Now it's time to follow my heart. And those who say that the trick that we trade, let me stay in one place for as long as I stay. And through all those times, I pray and I pray, I'm finally on my way. I'm going to get my way at last.
Well, George,
I don't know what to say, Mr. Potter. You're serious about this.
of course I'm serious, George, but take some time to think about it. Decide whether you want to be a success or live in a rut all of your life.
I don't need any time to think it over, Mr. Potter.
Hello, boy, George. I'd like a man that can make an intelligent decision.
What decision? With an offer like that, then There's only one answer I could have given you. No.
What?
No, I can't. You bought this and you bought that. You bought just about everything in this town, and now you're trying to buy me while I'm not for sale.
Come on, George. Think of yourself for once, man.
I am thinking of myself. I'm thinking of all those years in front of me. I have to sit and look at myself. Well, I may end up poor like my father. I may end up a nobody. I'll go to my grave with a little self-respect, knowing I didn't end up as another toy in your collection. And that's how it's gonna be. You sit here and spin your web, and you think the whole world revolves around you. And your money, well, it doesn't. Is that a shock? Well, I hope it is. Your nose is like starting to spray, springing your trust, day after day, and to think you try to lead me astray into seeing things your way, by showing things my way. I gotta get out of here.
You're right to regret this, George Bears. When you're an old man, sitting in your shop, remember this. You had your chance.
Oh, dear God, what have I done? I've passed by my chance to become someone, but I can't help but see what he do to me. A dream is not much to sacrifice, and everything has its price. I'll feel what I was thinking. I'll look inside and see what's meant for me. Is this what I am? An ordinary man who'll end where he began. Is this how it has to be? See the headlines, the big headlines talking about my baby crying. Mary Bailey has named the daily because that outshines any other. Just take a look and you'll love me. The greatest family honor me story. So welcome back your fathers and your sons. Thank God for their safety, everyone. What we lost might take time to restore, but now boys come back from the war.
What's going on here, Joseph? Why all the celebration? Why does George look so much older?
He is older, Clarence. Why, a long time has passed since he turned Mr. Potter down. And there's other things that have happened that probably you should know about, Clarence.
Oh, really? Like what?
Like the war, for instance.
Ah, the war. So many angels coming in at once, heaven almost seemed crowded.
That wasn't the only place.
You mean?
Well, everyone had a job to do during the war, Clarence. Why, Aunt Tilly and Ma Bailey sewed for the Red Cross. Mary ran the USO. And Mr. Gower and Uncle Billy sold war bonds. Why, Mr. Potter even found time to run the draft board.
I bet he enjoyed it.
Well, Harry Bailey was the best of them all. Navy flyer, shot down 15 enemy airplanes, 2 before they hit the deck of a transport loaded with soldiers. Bona fide hero, Clarence.
But what about George?
George? Well, George was declared 4F by Mr. Potter. But George did his thing. He was air raid warden, ran a metal drive, a paper drive. Why, he fought the Battle of Bedford Falls. Clarence!
Joseph, those children look just like... Do you mean to tell me that George and Mary...
I told you, Clarence, he did all he could during the war.
A whole new crop of babies.
Well,
That's
Clarence,
wonderful, Joseph. They look like such a happy family.
it's almost time for me to leave. We've seen all that has passed and brought it up to now, Clarence. Now you can see what has caused George Bailey to want to give up his life.
I'd almost forgotten.
Clarence.
Everyone seems so happy.
Now, children, I'll straighten up in here while you clean up your rooms.
Aww.
After all, if we're going to have a hero come and stay with us,
We've got to give him a hero's welcome.
Daddy, come here!
children, now your rooms.
But we want to finish decorating the tree. And we want Daddy to help us.
Well, I tell you what, Daddy's got to go back to work for a little while. So, why don't you save a star for me to put on top of the tree later, okay? Now go on. A few room with you. Go on, like Mommy said.
George, what do you do with all those papers?
Well, I thought I'd spread them around, sort of casual like.
Yes, you've already spread about 25 of them casual-like around the house. Why don't we just paper the walls with them and be done with it? Oh, George, try to be home early. We have church, and then that party's preparing.
I've got my money in the closet to make a bank and close up the office by noon. All this for Harry to meet at the airport. I'd better be on my way soon. You know I've just got to say that this has got to be the very best. This has got to be the very best day.
Yes, I suppose so. Would you mind telling me what all the fuss is about? The whole town's in uproar.
Well, sure they are. I mean, Christmas isn't the only thing on its way. Everyone's excited for sure. Everything's on its way back from the road.
Right here, I'm George Bailey. Oh, Uncle Billy, did you tell everyone about the homecoming party tonight? For Harry at the Baileys?
Right, I'll get right on that.
Billy, don't forget about the deposits. Hurry. Oh, he set his head. Oh, Georgie, this is Mr. Carter, the bank examiner.
About the books, Mr. Bailey.
Yes, Mr.
Carter.
Oh, Carter. Oh, we're just a little excited around here. You see, my brother just won the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yes, I've heard. About the books.
It's Harry. Harry's on the phone. He's calling long distance. He wants to know if he can reverse the charges. Is that going to be all right?
Well, for a hero, of course it's all right.
George, keep him on the line. I gotta run to the bank.
I trust you've had a very good year.
Well, between you and me, Mr. Carter, we're broken.
Very funny. Although I wouldn't be surprised what with reversing charges on long-distance telephone calls.
Excuse me, George.
Oh, fine. Excuse me, Mr. Carter, but we do have to keep our customers happy. Isn't that right?
Since when have I ever been your customer?
Well, if I can call my customers my friends, I don't know why I can't call my friends my customers.
Friends. You don't know how lucky you are to have friends, George.
Oh, why? You have friends.
No, George. All I have are customers.
Well,
except for you.
Well, this letter says that I know you and you're a responsible person of good character. Now, this ought to help you get a decent job when you get to New York. If you have any trouble, you just call me.
Good character. Are you sure this letter is about me?
Well, of course it's about you. It takes a lot of character to leave your hometown and start all over again.
What?
It's a loan, Vi.
Oh, no, I can't.
Vi, please. Vi, it's what I do. Make loans, remember? And besides, I don't know how long you can hang on to your good character broke in New York City.
George, come with me. You don't belong here either. We could have fun. We could... I'm sorry. Just a little whistling in the dark. I'm glad I know you, George Bailey. Just forget what I said, okay?
Sure, Vi. Sure. Vi, come on. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, George.
Be right with you, Mr. Carter. Oh, here. Please, don't forget this.
If you're done keeping your customers happy, Mr. Bailey, perhaps we can get down to the business at hand.
Yes, Mr.
Carter!
Oh, Carter! Carter, that's it. Now, what can I do for you?
The books. I'm the bank examiner, Mr. Bailey. I need to inspect your accounts.
Yes, of course, the books. I'm sorry, Mr. Carter, but I'll get them for you right away, just as soon as I talk to my brother on the phone. Excuse me.
Did you see this?
Sure did, Mr. Bailey.
Oh, I got a deposit to make, $8,000. What is today?
Why, it's December 24th.
Did I forget that? This must be just...
Oh, Mr. Potter.
Oh, well. It's not Mr. Potter. I wonder what's in the newspaper today. Harry Bailey, hometown hero, decorated by the president. Can't keep those Bailey boys down, can you, Potter?
Well, it's a pity he had to be upstaged by his younger brother.
Yeah, well, it's a pity you disqualified him. Georgia probably won 2 of those medals.
Well, he had a bad year. It was none of my doing.
You know, it's probably best he didn't go to Germany. All the rats weren't in Germany, you know.
Are you ready, Mr. Bailey?
Yeah, here you go. Shake hands with the president.
Excuse me, Mr. Bailey. I think you forgot something.
What?
I think you forgot something.
What did I forget?
Well, aren't you going to make a deposit?
I just made a deposit.
Well, usually when you make a deposit, it's customary to bring the money with you.
The money wasn't. I know I had it with me. The money, the excitement, Harry and all. I must have left it back over. Say that.
Harry, you little son of a gun. We can't wait to see you, Harry. What? Mom had tea with the president's wife.
Oh, she hates tea.
Harry, I just can't wait to see you.
Well, I suppose you could choke down a couple of just about anything for the president's wife.
You ought to see what they're cooking up for you here, Harry. They're what? The Navy's flying Mom home this afternoon.
Oh, she hates to fly.
Harry, it's good talk. Oh, Harry, here's Uncle Billy. Let me put him on, okay? Uncle Billy, here, talk to Harry.
Harry, you remember Harry, your nephew?
Hey, Harry, yeah, everything's fine. Right. Goodbye.
Mr. Bailey, please, I'm a patient man, but I don't suppose you're the type that would just show me the books and let me get on my way?
I don't suppose, Vesta, you're the type that would just break into Christmas carols with me, would you? Deck the halls with the bells of holly, la 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 la. Is everything all right?
Gentlemen, I hate to interrupt, but
Aunt Tilly, why don't you take Mr. Carter into the back room and see if you can find some of those books?
Well, thank you.
It's not here, George.
Well, then we're just going to have to retrace every step you took until we find it. Come on, Uncle Billy.
They're not going to find that money. That awful Mr. Potter stole it.
Yes, he did, Clarence.
But we have to help them. They can't possibly hope to find it by themselves.
Well, that's what they do, old Clarence.
Hope's not enough. They don't stand a chance.
Hope is what this story is about, Clarence. That's why we're here. There's a man down there who needs help with this hope. That's why you're here.
I still can't believe Mr. Potter's going to get away with stealing all that money.
Well, Clarence, do you really think that we're the only ones that know that Mr. Potter stole that money? Tell you, he made a reservation a long time ago for a place that you and I will never see.
But poor George.
Now, Uncle Billy, are you sure you came this way?
Well, George, how many ways are there to the building and along over here to the bank?
Oh, you didn't see it anywhere. Did you check your coat?
Yes, I checked.
How about your hat?
George, why would I put $8,000 in my hat?
I don't know.
Well, good morning, gentlemen. Did you lose something?
No.
I must say, it's quite an honor having the Bailey boys in my bank twice in the same day. I mean, on such a special day as this, with Harry coming home and all.
Oh, Harry, yes.
Yeah, I read the article about Harry the hero, George. Very uplifting, very uplifting.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Yes, I can honestly say I have never enjoyed opening a paper more in my life. Oh, George, by the way, I hear the bank examiner's in town. I hope everything's all right. And George, Merry Christmas.
He's full of the Christmas spirit.
Forget Potter for once. He's not our problem. Come on, Uncle Billy. We've got to find that money. All right. You filled out the deposit slip here at the building and loan, right? Now, did you stop along the way and buy anything? Anything at all?
I swear, George, not even a stick of gum.
You put the money in an envelope, right?
Yes, I did. I'm sure I did.
And you put the envelope in your pocket, right?
Maybe, George. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Maybe. I don't want any maybes, Uncle Billy. We got to find that money.
I'm sorry, George. I'm no good. I'm just no good to you.
Uncle Billy, do you have any secret hiding places? Here or at home? Someplace you might have hidden it. Anyway.
I have looked everywhere. It's gone. It's just gone.
Uncle Billy, it can't be gone. Please try. Try, Uncle Billy.
Gentlemen, I'm
I'm going to give you 10 minutes to turn those books over, at the end of which time I will conclude that something fishy is going on and alert the authorities. 10 minutes!
Uncle Billy, please. Please, Uncle Billy, think. Think, Uncle Billy.
But I can't think anymore, it hurts.
Where is that money, you silly, stupid fool? Don't you understand what this means? It means bankruptcy and scandal and prison. And which one of us you think's going to jail, huh? You? No, it'll be me. It's always me. Good old George Bailey. Doesn't mind giving up his honeymoon or school or spending a few years in jail. Well, I'll tell you what, Uncle Billy, good old George Bailey is just about at it. I might have given up my hopes and dreams, but I'm not going to give up the rest of my life.
George, you don't go. I'm sorry.
In one horse open sleigh, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Oh, look, Mom. Susan put all her ornaments in one place. That's the way she likes it, doesn't she, Mom? It looks goofy.
Oh, well, hello, darling. We've been waiting for you. How does the tree look?
Fine.
You gotta put the star on top, Dad. Listen to what I can play, Daddy.
Did you bring the wreath?
Wreath? What wreath?
Why, the wreath for the windows.
I left it at work.
Oh, well, then we could call Uncle Billy and see.
Uncle Billy, that worthless old fool. I haven't trusted with it. Achoo!
Bless you.
Where's your hat and coat?
I left them at work too, all right?
Daddy, listen. Will you put the star on the tree now, Dad?
You better hurry up and get ready, dear. We have to be to church in a little
Oh,
while.
church. I don't want to go to church.
Daddy.
Jamie, would you give it a rest for a while,
We have
please?
to practice for the party.
Hectic day, dear.
Oh, just another red letter day for the Baileys.
Look, Dad. Susan put all her ornaments in one place.
Yeah, that's the way she likes it. By the way, where is Zuzu?
Oh, she's upstairs resting. I think she caught a cold. She won a flower today at school and didn't want to pressure coming home, so she didn't button her coat.
Does she have a fever?
Well, maybe a little.
It's this house. It's practically a shack. I don't know why we live here anywhere. We might as well live in a refrigerator.
George, where are you going?
I'd like to check on Susan.
Hey, what happened to you?
I want a flower. See?
Oh, it's beautiful. Will you do me a little favor?
What, Daddy?
Will you, try and sleep a little?
No, I want to look at my flower. Oh, Daddy, my flower's broken. Can you try and fix it for me, please?
Well, I tell you what I'll try and fix your flower if you try and sleep a little, okay? Now close your eyes and dream, and soon it'll turn into a whole garden full of flowers.
It will?
Just close your eyes. Tell me, what do you see? Acres of flowers that stretch to the sea. They are all yours, a present from me.
you do that for me. Things will be better tomorrow, you'll see. Your flower will be for you, you turn for me. Please, darling, for
Hey, Mom, did you at the Browns house for Christmas?
No, what?
A new car. Are we gonna get one too?
Probably not.
Hey, Dad. Dad, when are you gonna put the star on the tree?
In a minute.
Did you hear my song, Daddy?
Yes, yes,
Maybe we
yes.
can stop up on the way home and pick up the wreath.
On the way home.
Oh, hey, Dad, did you hear that the Browns got a new car?
So what's wrong with our car?
Maybe we should also stop up on the way and pick up Uncle Billy.
Jamie, you've been playing that song over and over and over again. Just stop it.
Dad, could you please put the star on the tree now?
There, I put the stupid star in the tree. Are you happy?
George, what's wrong?
What's wrong? Everything's wrong. Why did we have all these children? You call this a happy family?
Pete, I'm sorry, Pete. Daddy didn't mean it. I'm sorry. Janie, go on. Janie, please, keep practicing. Go on. I'm sorry. Daddy's sorry. I'm sorry.
Is Daddy in trouble?
Oh, yes, Peter.
Shall I pray for him?
Oh, yes, children. Pray very hard. Now run along and get ready for church.
What?
Please, run along. If only I could reach him. If only I could touch him. If only I could make him understand that I am here to help him, to love and to support him, and lend him my outstretched hand. I know he's been unhappy, feels he's incomplete, yet when I help it's as if I interfere. Sadness hits me hard, and I turn the other cheek. But when I turn my cheek, that only means I cry another tear. If only I could reach him, if only I could shake him, if only I could hold him like before, I might get a glimpse of the man that
I think that I can do it on my own. The love is very strong and has lasted for so long. I'm amazed at how her strength has made mine grow. I feel that I am ready. This is my lover's chance to do something for someone who's in need. I can make a difference. I just wish I could advance to a time when they'd be happy. Like the days when time was young and life was free. I know that I can reach him. Know that I can help him. Let me give him a hand. This ordinary man has carried out his plan, and I'll tell you
I know it's an unusual request, Mr. Potter, but I need to borrow $8,000 right away. You can set the terms.
Well, that's very nice of you, George, to let me set the terms. This wouldn't have anything to do with those reporters, would it? Or that man from the district attorney's office I saw with the building and loan.
Reporters?
It couldn't be, George, that there was a slight discrepancy in the books.
No, it's just that I misplaced $8,000. I can't seem to find it anywhere.
You misplaced it, George? That doesn't sound like you.
Yes.
Well, George,
yes, I misplaced it.
George,
but
I'm
sure it's going to turn up somewhere. If you could just cover it until...
George, it seems like I've become very important to you for a scurvy little spider. What did you do, George? Play the market? The horses?
No.
A woman, George? You know, it's all over town. You've been giving money to Violet Vick.
No.
Well, George, why did you come to me? Where is your rich pal, Sam Wainwright?
I can't get a hold of him.
George, I always knew that one day you would come crawling to me on your hands and knees. Have you any collateral, George? Stocks, bonds, securities?
I have a $15,000 life insurance policy.
$15,000. How much equity do you have in it?
About
$500 and a $15,000 policy. You know, George, you're worth more dead than alive. This is quite a Christmas list you presented me with, George. Malfeasance of office, perpetration of a fraud, grand larceny. Why, a man gift of this magnitude, a man can hardly contain himself. Operator, get me the police. Have a Merry Christmas, George, in jail.
I'm sorry. I don't know what else to do. I'm worth more dead than I am alive. Please, God, I wish I'd never been born. George!
Oh, thank God, Joseph, you stopped him.
I didn't stop him, Clarence.
But
time has come for me to leave you, Clarence. We've seen the life of George Bailey, and what has brought him to now. What is past and cannot be changed. It's all in your hands now, Clarence.
But what if I can't help him?
What will be, will be. You have a kind and gentle heart and the faith, Clarence. It's all up to you now.
Hey, what are you doing up
be, you crazy fool.
I'm trying to save you.
You climbed up here to what? Save me?
Well, I did, didn't I? You did go through with it, did you?
Go through with what? And where did you come from anyway? I didn't see you until right
Before you tried to jump in and kill yourself. I knew you wouldn't go through it, George. You're not that kind of a man, but you know me.
How did you know my name?
Oh, I know all about you, George. I watched you grow up as a little boy. You see, I'm from heaven.
You mean you're the answer to my prayers?
Well, not just your prayers, George. Half the people in town are praying for you. They're all very concerned.
Oh, yeah. I bet they're just worried sick about me.
You'd be surprised.
Yes, I would be.
It's ridiculous, you know.
What's ridiculous?
Trying to kill yourself over something as trivial as $8,000.
How did you know about that?
I told you. I'm from heaven.
What's that all about?
Well, we're supposed to be down there, but... Joseph!
Maybe you're using the wrong hand?
Well, what do you know? I'm kind of new at this.
New at what? And how did you know all about...
Oh, I know all about you. It's part of my job.
You know all about me, huh?
Oh, yes. Up until now, you've just been a man with your head in the clouds. I know where you've been. I just don't know where you're going.
Well, look, I hate to bring you back down to earth, Gabriel, but I know exactly where I'm going.
Clarence, my buddy, AS2. And I'm your guardian angel. I know everything about you.
Yeah? You look like about the kind of angel that I get. What? You don't even have any wings.
Yes, well, that's why I'm an AS2.
AS2.
Angel second class. But I'm trying to earn my wings now. That's why I'm here.
Look, I'm not sure I like the idea of being seen with a wingless angel.
I've got to help you.
Help you?
By letting me help you. I've been an angel second class for over 100 years. Other angels come to talk, but politely so I don't hear. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but the evidence is clear that without my wings, when Gabriel sings, I won't be anywhere near. It's hard to on the ground while everyone else is in the sky. Counting the linen shoes that I wore since 1735. There's holes in my soles and my feet start to ache and I feel like I'm still alive. And you see the things, you gotta have wings, and that's when you've arrived. Oh, you gotta have wings. Mark my words, otherwise you're set. Haven't you heard? Up there I have found. It's all over town. You'll get nowhere to stay. All around, all around. Yeah, I mean it. You'll be in the spot, believe it or not, Mr. Halfway. The day after you arrive, send those women, they cut a statement. After a while, they just smile. To disturb his hair, awake my bit. I can't leave you down. The things you need on the other side. Oh, you gotta have a wing. Again, if you don't, you better bring your shoes. Now don't you get yourself in a sweat. I think you got a few years to worry about this or that. Oh, you gotta have a wing. May I repeat it? Yeah. You'll be in the spot, believe it or not. I don't think that wings are the only thing that you're missing. Oh, please, George. I mean, I get another chance. You gotta let me help you. Listen, someone else just made it.
Made what?
Every time you hear a bell ring, it means that some angel has just gotten his wings.
Are there people with nets out looking for you?
Help me? There's only one way you can help me. Say, you don't happen to have $8,000 on you, do you?
No, we don't use money in heaven.
Oh, heaven, that's right. Well, it comes in pretty handy down here.
George, you never worried about money before.
Yeah, look where it's gotten me. I'm worth more dead than I am alive.
That's not true, George.
Yes, it is. All I've ever done is sit and rot in this God-forsaken town.
If you keep talking like this, I'm never going to get my wings. If it hadn't been for
If
you.
it hadn't been for me, everyone would be a whole lot better off. My wife, my kids, my friends. Look, Clarence, why don't you run along and haunt someone else?
Oh, you don't understand. I've got my job.
Would you shut up and leave me alone, please?
This is going to be harder than I thought. So you still think killing yourself would make everyone better off?
I suppose everyone would be a lot better off if I'd never been born.
What did you say?
I said I wish I'd never been born.
I can't believe that. What do you mean you've never been born? Wait, that's a great idea. What do you think about that? George, you just got your wish. You've never been born. There's such a fuss about it.
Say that again.
You've never been born. You have no cares, no worries, no obligation. There's no Mr. Potter. There's no missing $8,000.
Would you say something else into this ear?
You've never been.
Hey, you don't have to yell. I'm not deaf. I'm not deaf. I haven't heard anything out of this ear since I was a kid.
You were never a kid. You were never period.
Look, it's been nice talking to you, but I need to run along and try to find my wife at church. Excuse me.
Do you mind if I walk along?
Oh, wouldn't you rather fly? Oh, I forgot. No wings. Look, Clarence. Look, Clarence, are you sure you're not missing from somewhere?
Oh, I'm not the one missing, George. You are.
All right, where is it?
Where's what?
The church.
Well, there isn't any church, George.
Well, that's ridiculous. I've been going to that church for years.
Oh, no, you haven't. You've never been born.
Would you shut up with that never been born stuff?
It was your idea.
All right, you two bums, moving along.
Hey, Bert, where's the church? Who the heck are you? Hey, it's me, George. Don't you recognize me?
I don't know nobody named George. There has been a church here in Pottersville for years. Now move it.
Pottersville? This isn't Pottersville. Hey, come on, tell me, where is everybody?
Well, they are every night, either down at the bar in the jail, which is where you're going to be if you don't go somewhere and sleep it along. Now go somewhere and sleep it off. Now move it.
He didn't recognize me.
Of course not. You've never been.
I know. I've never been born. Who are you?
I told you I'm your guardian angel.
Then who am I?
You're nothing. Nobody. You never happened. Never were. Oh, you don't have any identification. You don't have any identity. No driver's license. No insurance policy. Oh, they're not there either. Zuzu's medals. There's no Zuzu. You've been given a wonderful gift, George. A chance to see what the world would be like without you.
You know, you are crazy. This whole thing is crazy. You know what I need? I need a good stiff drink. Yeah, that's what I need.
One little drink wouldn't hurt. That doesn't. Besides, I really do need to keep an eye on. That's not.
Hey, buddy, what are you trying to pull there?
Oh, come on, Bert, every night.
Hey, what's going on here?
Hey, you, I don't know you. Get out of my face. You want something? You just admiring the place.
Hey, mister, can you loan me a dollar?
Hey, you fucking get out of here. What you have?
Ernie, hey, Ernie, don't you know me?
I don't know you.
Well, of course you know me.
Look, order up or get out of my place. I don't have time to fool around with you. So what do you have? Come on. Order up, drink up, or get out of my business.
Hey, buddy, come on and give me a dollar. You can
Hey, I thought I told you to get out of here. I'll shut up and I'll send you back where you belong, to the loony bin.
Ernie, what's going on here? What's happened to your place?
My place? This isn't my place, it's Potter's place. just like everything else in Pottersville.
Ernie.
Look, that's it. Maybe you just better go find some place to sleep it off. You drunks, you're all the same.
Ernie, cut it out. Look, we used to be friends. Ernie's
That's it. Take a hiker, or you'll wind up just like this old bum. And then I'll have you both thrown in jail. Ain't that right, old man? Tell him what it's like in the Hooskow jailbird.
Mr. Gower, what's wrong with him?
What's wrong with him? He just got out of jail after some 20 years for poisoning some kid. Now he's got nothing better to do than drink his life away.
No one was there to keep him from putting the poison in the pills. Look, I don't know what you're up to, but my mother will know who I am. You know where my mother is?
Well, she's where she always is Christmas Eve, George. She's with her family.
That's right. Come on.
But wait, George.
Mother, what do you want?
Mother, it's me, George.
If you're begging for money, pick somebody else.
Mother, please. Don't you recognize me?
No.
Mother, please. I'm confused. I need your help.
Go to the Red Cross if you need help. I don't help strangers.
But Uncle Billy.
Do you know my brother-in-law?
Well, of course I know him.
When did you see him last?
Just now.
Any friend of Bill Bailey's is no friend of mine. He went crazy when he lost his business, and he should be locked up. And if you ask me, you should be locked up too.
Mother, please.
Will you get away from me?
Don't you recognize me?
Leave me alone.
I'm your son.
My son? I only had one son. He died a long time ago. And he was just a baby. Such a sweet young baby. And he was gone so fast. What could I do? How could I have known? And when Peter died and left me here all alone, and now I live my life in the past. There's no hope when all around you die so fast. I just want my baby back again. Get away from me! Get away from me or I'll call the police!
Mother! Harry Bailey, 1911, 1919. What? Your brother Harry broke through the ice and was drowned at the age of 8. That's a lie! That's a lie! Harry Bailey went to war. He won the Congressional Medal of Honor. He saved the lives of every man in that troop transport. Every man on that transport died. Your brother Harry wasn't there to save him because you weren't there to save Harry. Strange, isn't it? How one man's life can touch so many others. You see, George, you really did have a wonderful life. Mary, oh, George. Mary will know she won't know you, George. What's happened to Mary? She's an old maid, George. She never married. Her life's been full of pain and loneliness. Clarence, she'll know me. Come on, we've got to find her. Wait, George. Clarence, where is Mary? She's just closing up the library. There's got to be an easier way to earn my wings. Mary? Mary!
Mary, it's me, George.
Oh, please let me go. Don't hurt me.
Oh, Mary, come on, don't you know me? It's me, George.
I don't know you.
Oh, Mary, please
let me
don't
go.
do this. I need you and the kids, Mary.
Oh,
please.
somebody
Mary, it's me, George. Don't you recognize me? Stop it, stop it. It's me, George Bailey. Don't you recognize me? Hey, you own the store next to the bank. Emily, I granted you that loan so you could buy that new home. Bert, look close. We used to be the best of friends. And Mary, you're my wife. No, Clarence, help! Are you all right?
I can't catch my breath. My heart is pounding so. There's nothing you can do for me right now.
Just like to read.
It's the only way out. All I have are my dreams. I know dreams can't come true, but they're better than life.
Clarence, please help me, Clarence, get me back. I don't care what happens to me. I just want to see my wife and kids again. Please, Clarence, I want to live again. Dear God, let me live again. Have a wonderful life, George.
George, are you all right?
Get away from me. I'll hit you again, Bert.
Again, what the hell are you talking about, George?
What? Did you just call? Bert, do you know me?
I've been looking all over
Bells! Those are church bells. This town's got a church. Bedford Falls got a church.
Of course you got a church.
Zuzu's bells. I'm alive. We're not alive.
Yes,
I bet it's Christmas. It's Christmas, isn't it? And Mary, I've got to get home and, I got to tell Mary. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, George.
Please, I'd like to have a word with Mrs. Bailey before the sheriff gets here.
I am Mrs. Bailey.
No, I mean the younger Mrs. Bailey.
I told you, Mr. Carter, she had to go out.
At this time of night? It's almost midnight. Where she could be at to?
I don't know, maybe she had an errand to run.
Mary, Mom, Zuzu. Oh, Zuzu. I'll never see you again. Oh, Zuzu.
Grandma said it's always Christmas.
Yeah, so it is. Merry Christmas, Zuzu.
Mr. Bailey, there's a deficit in your account.
Yes, Mr. Carter, I know, $8,000.
And the sheriff is on his way over.
Yes, and I bet he has a warrant for my arrest and I'm going to go to jail. That's wonderful. That's wonderful, Mr. Carter. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Carter.
Mary, I told you, I just saw him. He's talking great.
Bert, you should have brought him home. George!
Oh, Mary.
Oh, George, where have
Let me touch you. Are you for real? Oh, Mary, you have no idea what's happened to me.
Oh, you've no idea what's happened. George, stand right here. Now, don't move. Don't move. Uncle Billy, everybody, come in.
George is wonderful.
What's going on?
What was Mary's idea? I mean, she told a few people about your problem. We spread out all over town. They said if George Bailey needs our help, he can count on us.
It's a miracle. Do you believe in miracles?
Oh, do I believe in miracles?
George, Mary.
It's Mary!
Looks like I got here too late. But you might be interested in this telegram I picked up for you at the train station. Mr. Gower cables you need cash. Stop. My office instructed to advance you funds up to $25,000. Stop. Hee-haw and Merry Christmas. Sam Wayne.
Merry Christmas.
To my big brother George, the richest man in town.
That's right, Susan. That's right. Attaboy, Clarence. Attaboy.